Good evening. Welcome to the June meeting of the Town of Penfield Historic Preservation Board. So we'll call the meeting to order. First item is the approval of minutes from the May meeting. I have one comment. If it states me as being absent, but
Did I
pretty confident I was
take
here.
that over? I'll fix that.
Everything else looked okay to me. Any comments? Okay, motion for approval?
So moved.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we don't have any of the miscellaneous items. We'll jump right into the certificates of appropriateness. The first one, we'll give her a chance to zoom in for a
Yeah,
minute.
skip over her.
And go directly to Mike Turco. Mike, can you join us up here?
How y'all doing?
Good, welcome.
Thank you.
You're requesting approval for a pavilion. Can you describe just generally what you're trying to do?
Sure. Well, we have a patio out back of our house that we've had for a number of years, and I've always had a temporary, thing over it, but I neglected to take the covering off of it this year, and let's just say it didn't handle the snow load very well. So instead of spending the money to buy another temporary one like that one, which was just a metal frame with a canvas top, I figured it'd be good to spend the money and build a permanent pavilion over the patio. Our house is like the family hub. Everybody comes over. We use our area back there frequently for family events and things. And I have a son with special needs that really enjoys being outside, but he's not a fan of the sunshine, unfortunately, and it's not, he burns very easy. And so it's great to have a place that he can go and hang out, and spend time out there. So it's so that's basically it.
I had a question about the drawing that we see there.
Mm-hmm.
The picture is obviously rectangular, but the drawing is not. What is the shape of it?
Well, the first version I did, it was 17 by 20, so it was more rectangular. After a closer measuring, I realized it was going to be more 17 by 18, so it is pretty square.
But okay, as opposed to on the drawing, it looks like it's got an odd shape to it.
Oh, no, it is rectangular.
It is rectangular,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did, after checking the load capability of a triple 2x6, with it being 18 feet instead of 20 feet, yeah, that's actually the first drawing you have up there. I had four posts on one side. I can actually get by with just 3 posts on one side.
On the 18-foot side.
Yep. Yeah. Triple 2x6 can go up to 12 feet long, but so.
And you mentioned also that there'll be clapboard siding. Is that just under the eaves there?
Yeah, on both ends. Yeah, where the eaves are. Our house is clapboard siding, so I figured to tie it in and make it look appropriate that it'd be nice to have clapboard siding up there painted the same color as a house. So I mean, you look at the end of it, it'll be like looking at the side of our house. Trim will be white, the clapboard siding, the louver will be white.
And your house is gray, if I remember correctly?
It's blue.
It's a dark blue.
Yep.
Will this be visible from the street?
No. And the bus garage is in our backyard, in case you didn't remember exactly where our house is, so I don't think they're going to mind. Matter of fact, when I worked there, we had talked about putting a gate in the fence and having, people coming over and hanging out at their lunchtime and stuff, so. Not that that's ever going to happen, but.
Well, us old timers call it the Little League field.
The Lily Field.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it was once upon a time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, wasn't it a baseball field at one time as well or something?
It's Little League, yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
it was three baseball fields.
Oh, there are 3 fields back
Yeah.
there.
Comments and questions from anyone on the
What color
board?
is the metal roof?
Well,
It's in the picture.
it's a little bit up for debate, but more than likely, it's just going to be like a beige color. I was thinking it might be nice to make it the same color as the doors on the house, which is a kind of a cranberry red.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of so far voted out on that. So we'll just, beige will just blend in nicely with the surroundings and unless you all have a preference. And that's more readily in stock anyway. The cranberry would have been custom order.
Well, I'll tell you, I just replaced my temporary one, which was, I don't know, 15 years, with something like that, but it's screened, and it's not as big as 12 by 12. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Oh, no, this will be great. I mean, when I have 6 kids and 6 grandchildren, and then our extended family on the other side, I mean, we could have 30 people there. It's nice to have the parking at Finney across the street. So, and once this is built, we'll be utilizing it more than we did. So that way, I mean, I always had to set up like other canopies in addition to the one I had, and so now it'll just be a permanent structure there. So you guys can come over for Friday takeout and movie night if you want. You just got to bring your own takeout.
So a good question maybe for Shannon. Because of the type of structure, are there building codes that he'll have
Yes,
to-
yeah, he is getting a building permit for it. We already did the plan review and site inspection, so when you guys approve, we'll be all set to go ahead with the building permit.
I
I have an auger on reserve for Saturday, so I was kind of hoping you'd say yes tonight.
Any comments, questions?
No, I think it's
So either
fine.
have a motion?
I'll move to approve this.
Okay,
Thank you.
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion?
I think this will be it.
I think you've
Things
said-
to approve.
I think you've said that before.
Well, yeah. Well, I knew the second part of addition was going to happen at some point, so but this was, yeah, like I said, when I looked out there in the spring and noticed it was collapsed, I thought this was the way to go, so.
So the approval is, the motion is with the matching color?
The matching color, the clapboard,
Clever,
and the
like a
beige colored
beige
metal.
color.
On the metal?
Yep.
Okay,
Although I'll also add, if he decides to change it to cranberry, I'm okay with that too.
Okay.
It's okay with you guys.
all right. Everyone all right with that?
Are more people in favor of the cranberry? Because I could use that for leverage on the wife, so.
Either one is fine.
Okay, great.
So we get a vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank
If
you.
anybody would like a revised drawing, I did happen to make some copies. I know it's all digital nowadays, but.
I think we're okay.
Nice job.
Thank you, Mike.
So I can keep the auger rental for Saturday then?
Yes, you can.
Yeah?
I'll issue the permit tomorrow and I'll email you.
Okay. So you're emailing me the permits too?
Would do,
Or should, I have to come and pay for them, right?
yes.
So yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yep, no problem. I'll give you all that information tomorrow. I'll email you.
Yeah, and let me know about the res check.
Yes, that should be all set too.
Yeah, the only, if I can just quickly intervene on that, when I talked to Rob Delisandro, he had mentioned it was a 2020 code. According to my architect, that's only New York City. And
Okay.
the 2018 is the current res check for Monroe County.
Okay, I'll have to
So,
double check on that.
Just so
I
you
don't
know, when
off
you
the
look
top of
at
my
it,
head.
I was trying to get the 2020, but my architect said we don't, 2018 was the most recent one, so.
Okay, I'll check on that and let you know tomorrow.
Okay.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a good summer.
Thank you, Mike, you too.
May more days be like today.
Yeah, take care.
I can't tell if she's,
All right, our second certificate of the night is for the approval of a fence, and if Ms. Benincasa has not zoomed in,
I think I saw her on there. Did
Did she come in?
Was that someone
We're
else?
getting her in for you.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, we'll hang on.
Do I have everything I need?
All right,
Yep.
I think you're all set to go. If you just want to give us a quick background and summarization of what you're going to be doing for us, that would be great. Thanks, Sarah.
Oh, yes, thank you very much, and I do apologize about my tardiness. The pool people were just leaving. So we would like to put in a black chain link fence around the perimeter of our backyard. It will stand 4 feet tall and go around the whole perimeter from the garage all the way back to the property line. There will be 2 gates, one on either side of the garage. One will be a 10-foot gate and the other will be a 4-foot gate.
Hey, Sarah, this is Tom Combs, the board chair. The only thing I noted in your submission was that the width of the yard and the width of the fence were different by several feet. I don't know, Shane, is there a setback requirement?
Not for fences as long as there's no easements, but I don't think there's any easements on this property. I'll do a quick double check just to make sure, but there's no setback requirements for fences.
Okay. So just curious whether there's a reason why I think the width of the fence was 77 feet and the width of the yard was 84 feet.
He did not, the gentleman from Lowe's that came out to do the measurements was doing it without my, what is it, without the, what is it called here?
The survey map?
The survey map, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So he was doing it without that, and it was just kind of a guesstimate of how much it was going to be, and if I wanted it to the property line and things like that, which we did decide that we did want it to the property line on either side of our neighbors and to the back as well.
Okay, so it'll
So
be
they
just,
will
all
come and redo it before they go.
right, it'll just be a tad wider than on your application.
Say it again, I'm sorry?
So the width will be the full width of your backyard?
That is correct, sir,
Oh,
yes.
Okay. All right, questions, comments from the board?
I saw in your application that you were putting that up, the fence up mainly to keep deer out. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. That is the main reason for it. We have several children and a dog, and every time we go back there, it is full of deer droppings, and we've had problems with ticks and things like that. So we are trying to keep the deer out and the kids and the dog in.
And most of the deer I've run into can jump a 4-foot fence pretty easily. That's just what it's more of a comment than anything, but.
Well, they just come in and they just make themselves just comfortable in there. Right by my kids' play area, they just sit there, they lay there, they just go. I'm hoping that they've never ran through my backyard. They just kind of mosey on through. So I'm just hoping that that's what's going to do. I did not want a 6-foot fence in the backyard because I didn't want it to look like a school or a prison yard.
No, that's understandable, but.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And maybe if the dog has the run of the backyard with the fence, it'll deter him a little. I'll make a motion on this one too, unless somebody else wants to, that we approve the fence with the exception that it, instead of on what it says on the application, that the fence can go along the true property line of the property.
Yes, sir.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous approval.
All
Sarah,
right,
you
thank
have
you,
the
Sarah.
approval. Thank you very much.
I definitely appreciate you. Thank you very much for your time.
All righty.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to our informational items. The first one being the bicentennial participation. We did have a few follow-ups from the last meeting. We'll go through those. I think I wrote them all down when I talked to you, Sharon. Chuck, were you able to check on an Eagle Scout availability for a sign project?
Yeah, I talked about it with our committee, and one of our concerns was there may not be a lot of leadership opportunity for that, because it was really just taking the fence or the signs down and sending them out to be painted and putting them back up. We were thinking it might make a good, like a service project for our troop. So we kind of, we have a meeting next week, so we'll kind of mull that over a little bit if we want to get on.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Eagle Scout requirements, but if it can fit in another way, I think.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
it's a possibility. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll let you know. I'll bring it up next week.
And Kathy's not here. She was going to check on the ownership of the designated houses and perhaps on other houses that are older in the town. So we'll follow up with her at another time. Shannon, you were going to reach out to the proposed speakers?
Yes, time got away from me a little bit, so I wasn't able to reach out to them yet, but I will be reaching out to them before the next meeting, try and nail them down for a date. So hopefully we're still far enough out from October that they shouldn't have any conflicts.
Okay. Was there anything else that I missed as far as our to-dos?
I don't think so. I think Kathy and I were going to kind of look into that existing Four Corners District map tour. I couldn't find it on the website, so maybe it's misplaced or it's in a secret place on the website. So I'll just maybe get the link from Kathy on that one. And then I started to kind of do some research on the architectural feature bingo. Someone else has done something similar to it, which is kind of cool. So I actually have a reference point to work off of.
A local one?
I can't remember. I don't think it's local. I think it was Portland. I want to say, but yeah, a major city,
Yeah.
bigger city. But at least there's a reference point, so that's kind of cool. So we can use that as a basis and just kind of work off of that example. A little less work.
Okay, good. Well, let's forge ahead on that because the time will fly through the summer for sure. The next item was the Clark House update.
Yes. So Eric Tate from DPW and a representative from Bergman Associates went before the town board on May 11th. They presented some updated information about the Clark House. Actually, let me pull that up for you guys. This was part of the presentation. So Bergman Associates completed an existing condition assessment. They found quite a few issues. They included water damage, mold, sill plate damage, insect damage, missing columns, improper roof support, missing mortar, penetrating water, jack posts rusting, inconsistent wall sheathing, floor structure, and wall damage. So those are just kind of the overview. They compiled a pretty extensive assessment of the property with pictures and a detailed analysis. I can forward all of that to you if you guys want to see the details, of course. So they compiled some estimates and options for potential rehabilitation. They broke the building down into 3 sections, as you can kind of see here. So the original 1832 section, the 1939 edition, and then the 1983 edition. Let's see. So they presented 3 options for rehabilitation. It's not limited to these options. It's just what they've explored and kind of run the numbers on so far. So the first option is to rehab the entire building. The second option is to demolish the entire building, including the foundation, and then to rebuild the shell of the first 2 portions. So these portions here, the blue and the green, with the proposal of the second story just being a clear story, so no actual use of that second story. And then the third option to demolish the whole thing and rebuild the building in kind. They did present, cost estimates, but it was just more so a preliminary kind of showing what they've been working on and just a light presentation. No decisions or anything are being made right now. But just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on.
So then the next step is what for the town?
I'm not
board?
sure. Do you know what the next step is, Linda?
Well, there was conversation, some of the board members wanted to go over and see the barn.
Yes.
So, the property, the Clark House property is owned by the town, not bought by the bond. So it's separate from the bond vote for Shadow Pines. And that includes the Clark House, the barn, and the garage behind said Clark House. So there was a conversation about going over to look at that because, that's in really bad shape too, the barn, and it doesn't look that bad when you see it on the street, but if you go in there, all sorts of things are living in there and there's holes and so on like that. But there was a conversation about looking at that too. But Bergman and Company, they were only, their job was to do estimates on the Clark House itself and its viability. And so, no, there isn't a path forward. There's some more looking around. We don't have anybody interested in going in. At one point, there was somebody that was interested, a business, but they backed out. So, it's going to be a decision of whether, which way to go. And
Linda-
like Shannon says, there's 3 sections to said building. It's they're all different.
Do you know what the town's doing now to try to preserve the building while it's mothballed?
Well, it patches up every, the Eric Tate and his crew go out there to secure it. But,
Well, are they running any dehumidifiers or circulating any air or
I have no
anything?
idea. I have no
I don't
idea
think
what's
so.
happening on
Well,
that.
Go over there all the time.
Wouldn't that be not a bad idea to keep the mold down and try
I
to?
think Eric said that they have a sump pump, but I think that's the only specific thing he mentioned. There might be more being done. I'm not sure about the specifics.
There's
Can we find
leaks,
that out?
but nobody knows
Yeah, I
where
can
they're
ask
coming
Eric.
from. It's just
We don't want the building to collapse due to doing nothing.
Well, I have 2 questions, and I don't know if they can be answered, but I think you talked last time, Shannon, about, or somebody did, about the building being in 3 pieces.
She just did. You see it in the
No,
picture.
but, hold on. With the historic preservation, it's the front piece, right? Or is it the
I'm
whole
not
piece?
sure what's designated
I think
and
it's
what's
the whole building.
not. I would assume the whole
50
building, yeah.
years, Right? 50 years means
Yeah, I don't know, but I think that's kind of important because
Yeah.
some of the options you gave, one was demolish the building. I don't know that the town board can simply do that if it's got a historic designation.
Well, unfortunately, national historic designation does not protect a building. You can still knock it down. There's
I
no
believe you
actual
can knock it down if it's dangerous. I don't think you can just decide on a whim to knock it down.
I'm pretty sure that you can, but I mean, we can do any double
Well, not
checking.
to worry. There would never be on the whim.
Right,
If that was
right.
the decision, it would go a lot of public information. There'd be a lot of conversation.
So my suggestion would be to maintain it a little bit then before that happens.
Well-
Put some dehumidifiers in there and get some air movement so the whole building doesn't get moldy and then you just come back and say, it's full of mold, we can't save it.
I think that'd be a very tough, I think it'd be very hard on elected officials to take that building down with the Penfield sentiment about it. Personally, I don't see any value in the back of the building, but that's not my decision. And the second thing is, we had done before, Joan had them look up, the barn is not covered by the designation.
No, but the town owns it, so.
But it's become slightly dangerous. When you go around the back of the building,
Yeah.
those holes in the roof, I mean, someone could get through there without, if they got up there.
Right.
It's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, I've been in there, I agree with you. It's a clear view of the sky from
Yeah.
down below.
So. I mean,
Did Bergman provide cost estimates for those options?
Yes, yeah, they did. It's kind of broken down here. I can forward you guys this presentation. So this is, option 1 is, 2.2 million. The option, that was the rehabilitation as the building currently exists. Option 2, to demolish the entire building. and, kind of do a partial rebuild. It's 1.5, 1.6 million. And then to do the entire demolish and rebuild the building in kind is 2.9 million. So those are just the estimates that they gave us, but.
And it's only the exterior, too. It's nothing to do with like
Right.
the inside. The inside is a whole nother.
Right, it's just a
$1 million.
rebuild the foundation and the shell.
Yeah.
Yes, good point. So, yeah, I'll obviously keep you guys updated. So there's not really a lot going on with it necessarily. This was just kind of an update for the town board members and for you guys.
You said it was 2.9 million to put a foundation in and just the outside shell?
That's what they estimate, and the demolition. Yeah, that's what it's estimated at. There's a full description here.
Well, there's obviously a lot more to come on this, but I think we want to make sure that the message from the Preservation Board is that we certainly value and believe the town values that the original Clark House.
Yep, yeah, oh yeah, of course. I think that everyone kind of shares in that feeling for sure. And Linda will obviously be an advocate, so. But we'll keep you guys updated as things change and as we get more information, but not much more right now. But I can forward everybody this presentation so you guys can kind of look over the details and the specifics and the damage and, the current condition, because it goes through the specifics and pictures and everything too.
Okay. On a somewhat related topic, of the Clark House in the little Pioneer Cemetery that's there, one of the headstones has been knocked over. And just, I assume someone's noticed that. There are ways to repair those things. But
Yeah, I guess I'll reach out to Eric. I'm not really sure who
Please
else
do.
would be in charge. I'll just send him an email and let him know, because they may not be aware.
Yeah.
As a board, are we able to recommend to the town any measures to stabilize the building while they're trying to decide what to do?
I don't see why we couldn't.
Okay. I'd
We
like
can
to
always do
suggest
like
that they
a
leave the
memo.
air handlers on and keep the heat on there in the winter and keep some air circulation on there in the summer. Otherwise, they're going to come back and say, the building is covered with mold and we can't save it.
Yeah. Well, we toured that, maybe some of you were in that tour a couple of years ago. It's in very, very bad shape, and I think the mold predates, it goes back years. But if, maybe we should, can we draft a memo?
Sure.
To that effect, and I'll share it with everyone, and we'll send that along.
Yeah, that's fine. We can definitely prepare a memo.
Oh, I just wondered if the demolition portion, if you decide to want to go ahead and demolish the rear portion, would be eligible for Restore New York? They have a demolition portion for that program to help save older buildings if you're looking for the reuse of it.
Okay, what's that called?
The Restore New York?
Restore
I
New
think applications are due, the first round of applications are due July 30th.
Okay. Something else to look into?
Yeah, I could send you info on that program.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, just another couple of miscellaneous things. Did we hear any more from the people that bought McGregor's?
No, I think that they got all the approvals that they needed, and they
Yeah.
did the public hearing, right?
Yeah, they're approved to go. They're just, they said there was a lot to do inside it.
Yeah, I assume that they're just a little busy.
Yeah.
So I think when they kind of get everything set up and they're getting going, I'll reach back out to the owner
Okay.
and mention it to him again, but I assume they're just a little busy to worry about us right now.
Okay. And
But
the
he
Daisy
seemed
Flower.
interested, so.
Yeah. The Daisy Flower Mill, I go by there all the time, and I never see any activity in there.
Yeah, I just drove by there and noticed the same thing. I haven't heard any updates or anything. They got all their approvals
Right.
on everything, so I haven't heard from the owner any details or anything, because they'll need to get building permits for that addition, the changes that they're making, but we haven't had anything submitted to the building department as far
Really?
as I'm aware,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. It seemed like they were anxious to move ahead and originally were wanting to open this fall.
Yeah, I assume that's delayed,
Yeah.
maybe waiting on funding
Okay.
or hiring someone to do the job, too.
Right.
Wait times are pretty far out for contractors at the moment, so that might be something they're running into, but yeah, no updates.
Okay. All right. The last thing on the agenda is the telecommunications tower update.
Yep, this application hasn't gone back before the planning or the zoning board yet. Currently trying to find a third-party expert to kind of look at the data and just make sure that all the information is accurate and, you know, that it's able to be presented to the boards in a way that everyone understands. So nothing moving on that at the moment.
So they don't have final approval yet?
No.
Thought they had.
No, they're waiting, yeah, they're getting an expert on all of the technical jargon, and that was presented, just so that everything
We
can be.
voted on that last night.
Oh, is that approved? Okay.
Last night, there was two things. It was Bergman and William Johnson, I
Okay,
believe the name is. And they were going to do a more research and so on like that to provide for the planning board and the zoning board.
okay, so maybe we'll have an update, a little bit more of an update on that by the next meeting.
And the cell tower people will pay for them. It's not the town paying for it. That was very specific that,
Good point.
Good
yeah.
move.
Okay, nothing else on the agenda? Anything from the board? Any other things for discussion? All right, then, I guess we can adjourn. Do I have a motion?
No, it should.
adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, I don't think we need to vote on that.
What are the uses? What can?
All right, thank you very much. We're
What?
All right,
concluding for the day.
great. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Clark House